Hey, what's going on? My name's James, and this is my new channel. I have another channel called Imagine That Luxury Motors, but this channel is dedicated to wealth, health, and prosperity. So what I'm going to do is a series of videos, and I'm going to talk about my journey through life and how I never accepted my journey as a successful one, but it is. And the reason why I say that, roughly 20 years ago, 30 years ago, I was homeless with my kids. I won't get into all that story just yet, but we weren't homeless like in a way that we're out here begging for money or anything like that. That never happened. And I've been down on myself. I'm not where I want to be in life. I'm not doing the things I want to do in life. And then I was talking to my brother, who's 10 years younger than me. He served 13 years in the military. And he said something to me that was an eye-opener. He said, if the James that was homeless could see the James that's driving around in this car that I'm in right now, living in the house that I'm living in, and hear me whining and complaining and it's not enough or whatever goes through people's minds, he said, what would that James say to you? Honestly, at that time, I would have said, shut the F up. You're driving a 2025. You picked it up with only 3 miles. The payments are affordable. You're living in a very nice house. You just had some improvements and upgrades to the house that 30 years ago, you didn't know where your next meal was coming from. And you got your kids with you. So I want to make this video series to let people know that anything is possible. Am I where I want to be in life right now? No, but I am well off than when I started. So the first thing you need to know is you need to be grateful for the life that you've had, good and bad, and that's very important. One of the things that I realize is that life happens to you. You don't make life to what you want it to be unless you do something. Another thing I notice, when it's getting good in your life, and that's happened to me several times where the job is going good, the money's looking right, and I'm enjoying my family, and we're taking vacations. It seems like no matter how comfortable I got, something would always go wrong. And I think you know what I'm talking about. I think it's shaking and jittering. Here's one incident. We had just bought a brand new car. Brand new. And we bought 2 actually. One for me and one for her. And we were living in our house that we were buying from her dad. And this is my first wife I'm talking about. I've been married twice. That's not a bad thing. We married too young. So we got the house. We're on a land contract. We're paying off this house. We're gonna move in and start our family and everything. And then it happened. There was infidelity, not for me. And then life happens. We went our separate ways. She left. I left. Then we went our separate ways. I knew I couldn't stick around what was going on in the marriage, so I knew I had to better myself. So I left to go to school in Texas, and it was the hardest thing in my life, leaving my family, leaving my kids, and going to Texas to go to school to learn a trade so I can be able to take care of the kids and myself outside of the marriage. But one thing I know is this: once you get comfortable in your life, really comfortable, like, hey, this is good enough, I don't need anything more than that. Life, if you are meant to be something a lot more than what you settled for, life will wake you up in ways that will hurt you, surprise you, angry you. So you have to not be so angry about it. You need to understand that The reason why this is happening because I need to get out of my comfort zone. So that was the biggest thing I learned through this entire journey over the last 30 years is as long as I stay in my comfort zone, I was not growing. I was not going anywhere either. There's a famous, I won't call him a motivational speaker because he doesn't like being called that, but he's a strategist. You know who I'm talking about, Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins said there are 6 human needs that everybody has, and we usually choose a couple. One is certainty. You want to be certain about certain things. When you get up in the morning, you go start your car, you want to be certain that your car started up. You want to be certain that when you get the paycheck, you can provide for your family. You want certainty that your kids are going to behave themselves and things of that nature. So you want certainty. And on the same point of that, you want some uncertainties. You like surprises. You don't like surprises you don't want. You like surprises, the ones that you do want. And the way that works is this way. When something happens that gives you a surprise, what's the first reaction that we do? We get mad, we get angry, we get frustrated. We go, what's going on here? I don't understand this situation. I don't want this to happen. It's not my fault, it's their fault. That is the first sign for you that you need to move from your comfort zone into something that's a little bit uncomfortable so you can go further than you've ever gone before in your life. I can't remember the other 4. One was contribution. Growth, contribution. I can't remember all 6. I'll put the other 6 in afterwards. So what I mean is this. When I get afraid of a situation that I can't control or can't handle or I don't understand, I back down. I you know what, that's not that important. I don't need that anyway. We all do that as human beings. So that's not a cowardly thing. That's survival. Our minds are designed to keep us safe. And when we find an area where we're safe, that's when we get comfortable. And if that's your plight in life, is to stay in a certain lifestyle and you're safe and everything around you is okay, that's great for you. But it just wasn't for me. I grew up in the inner city, and we moved out. There's a TV show in the 70s called The Jeffersons, and the startup songs, hey, we're moving on up. Well, we were the Jeffersons of our time. Our dad and mom took us from the inner city to the suburbs, and it was like 74. I was like 6 years old, and everything I knew about life was based on the inner city. The violence, the attitude, and whatnot. But when we moved to the suburbs, it was a totally different thing. We even went to a different school. The school that I went to was called Elm Creative Arts School. That school was kind of like a TV show. Look this up. There's a TV show called Fame, and it was a gifted school of dancers, performers, artists, musicians, and they all went to this school. So when I left the inner city school and went to this Elm Creative Arts School, it was like that. There was ballet, there was concerts, I was just blown away. I was like, what is this world that I'm in? My first impression at the age of 6, 7 years old is that this is what white people do. And that's a terrible mistake. I'll come back to that situation in just a bit. I'm making these videos in my car because it's where I get my most deep thoughts, when I'm just driving, not listening to music, and just concentrating on where I am in my life and where I want to go, and how much longer do I have on this planet before the great divine says it's time to come home. So you got to get to work. Everybody needs to get to work. All right, just check the traffic, get myself in my lane. We're good to go. So the point of all of my upcoming videos is to let you know that anything that you want in your life is 100% possible. Here's the first story. I am a father of 5 kids. Back when my oldest daughter was leaving the house and buying her own apartment, her first year out, she got a job working at the local casino. She was really happy with the money she was making, but it wasn't enough to sustain her lifestyle. She had a couple kids at 21, and she wanted her first Christmas to be a big one, because I've always, 5 kids, two incomes. We went all out for our kids when it came time for Christmas. So she wanted to do the same. So she went and put about $1,000 worth of presents and gifts for not only her, but for me, her mom, and her cousins and whatnot. And as it was getting closer, she was paying it down, and she was getting worried that she didn't have enough time to pay that off. She started in September, and come December, the first week of December, she was still like $600 shy of her goal of getting all those presents. I had come across the movie The Secret, and it came in at the right time for me. And I told her, I said, hey, you remember that movie I watched, The Secret? And I watched it I watched the movie Secret probably about 2,000 times. No joke. I'll get to that story right after this one. But she goes, okay. And I said, well, just don't think about it. I told her to feel it already done. I said, what would it feel like for you to go into Kmart's, where you had her back then when we had Kmart, and they had a layaway plan? I said, what would it feel like if you were to go into that store and that layaway was paid off? How would you feel? Oh my God, that would just relieve so much pressure and stress on me, Dad. You have no idea. I said, then stay in that moment. What does that feel like? You go in and they say, oh, everything's paid off. You paid more than you thought you did. It's paid off. She goes, I would be happy. I would cry. I would probably scream. I said, well, then stay in that feeling. And this is while I'm driving her to Kmart to make a payment. She had like $147 that she was going to put on her layaway stuff for Christmas. So we get there, and I got her kids. I said, look, you're going to go back there and pay. I know they're not going to see anything, but I'll keep the kids. You go back there and pay, and then we'll go out and I'll buy lunch or something. So she goes back there, and I just hear my daughter about 5 minutes later screaming, Dad, Dad! And she's crying. And as a father, my first instinct is, who's messing with my daughter? Someone's about to die. So I run back there with her kids, and she says, the layaway is paid off. I'm like, what are you talking about? She said, it happened, the law of attraction, it happened. I'm like, wait a minute. And I said, what happened? And the women behind the counter were all smiling. They had on their Santa hats, and there was a guy that had on a Santa beard, and everybody was like, clapping. I'm like, what's going on? She says, we have a rich couple that come in every Christmas, and just before Christmas pays off everybody's layaway. And I thought to myself, wow, that's amazing. I don't believe it was coincidence. I really believe it was the law of attraction. I'm a big fan, a big believer of that, because it's worked for me. So we went out and took a look, and I told her, I said, anytime you want something, you can't just say, I want it, because if you're coming from a place, I'm talking to my daughter, if you're coming from a place of lack, I don't have it, but I want it, you're going to get more of what you don't have. Just this is like, I want more money. So you're coming from a spot where you don't have it. That feeling of not having that money is stronger than you actually getting money. So that's actually blocking the money coming to you, because you want it so much. So whatever it is that you want in life, as long as it's coming from a place of lack, I don't have it now, but I want it later, I want it to come then, you are never going to get it. You're going to get more of what you're feeling. I'm feeling like, man, I want to win that lottery jackpot or the Powerball. I want to, and that's all you're going to keep getting. You're going to get more things that are going to cause you to want more problems. Hey, I want more money. Oh, my check engine light is on. Hey, I want some more money. Oh, the furnace broke in the house, or something. It's going to give you, hey, he or she likes want, so let's give them more want. Yeah, just do it to them. So you got to change that. Now, to my story, I have always loved Mercedes-Benz cars. I've been in the cars since I was 8 years old, when my mom bought me a Hot Wheel, and I was like, this is a miniature version of a Camaro or something. I was like, wow. And then my parents the next year bought more cars, and then they came out with this wheel that opened up, and you could store your cars inside. And when you stand it up, it would look like a wheel, a tire, and a rim. But when you open it up, all your cars were in there. I thought this was the coolest thing ever. So I've always been into the automobiles. So when I discovered that Mercedes-Benz was considered a luxury car, because I didn't know nothing at the age of 8 about Mercedes, Rolls-Royce, Bentley, and all these other high-end luxury car companies, to my knowledge, I thought car was a car. But as I started reading and looking in magazines and start seeing the difference between a hot rod, a funny car, a luxury car, a rat car, it was like, wow, this is just a great world to be in. So I've always wanted a Mercedes-Benz. And Mercedes-Benz history, they're known as the Silver Arrow. And that's based on back in their racing days, in the early 20s and 30s, their cars were white, and their cars were fast, and the cars were dominating the circuit. So the people in the FIA came together and said, we got to do something. Their car is just too fast. So they said they have to make the car lighter, thinking that, making the car lighter means you have to take some performance parts off the car to make it lighter. And they said, well, how much overweight are we? And it was like 15 pounds or 5 pounds. It was just a weird, obscure number that they just barely over the limit. So one of the engineers said, hey, this paint, that's some pretty thick paint. I wonder how much weight we would save if we stripped off all the paint on the car. So they started stripping the paint, whatever they had, sanders, brittle pads, and they sanded it down to the bare metal. Sanded all the paint off to the bare metal with the sanders, that it made it look bright and silver. And so when they got on the track, all people saw was this bright silver thing that looked like it was going as fast as an arrow through the wind, and that's how Mercedes-Benz got the nickname the Silver Arrow. So I said, I want a Mercedes based on just that story. I consider I'm 10 years old, and I'm like, that's a cool story. I want a Mercedes. That's all that was. So fast forward into my 20s. I want a Mercedes-Benz. I'm not making any kind of money that's gonna pay for a Mercedes-Benz. So I said, well, what's the next best thing? How about a silver car? So I said, that's good enough. I'm living within my means. I'm not wanting so much that this is the only way for me to get it, is to keep wanting it. And so I bought a 2011 Chevrolet Malibu in silver. And I said, okay, this is my first step into getting a Silver Arrow Mercedes-Benz. And the car is going to be silver. And it's going to be an AMG S63. I just love it, especially now that they're hybrids. I just love it. I just love it. So I had that car for roughly 5 years, and I was still wanting a Mercedes, but I still am not nowhere near close to affording a Mercedes-Benz. So what I decided to do is to see what was the newest model of the Malibu, and they had just introduced the 2013, and I saw it on TV, and I did not like the grille. And the movie Transformers just came out at the same time, and I was like, these cars look stupid and silly. So I forgot about it and just concentrate on saving up money to buy a Mercedes. So 2014 comes and goes, and 2015 comes, and I'm like, okay, the 2011 is getting old. I'm starting to get check engine lights. I'm starting to get throttle body sensors and camshaft sensors and stuff. I'm like, nope, it's time to get out of this car. So what I said, well, let me take a look. Maybe they redesigned that Malibu, and they did. They made it look the way that it looks now. And I didn't know that the Malibu came turbocharged. I've never been a big turbo man. I've always thought naturally aspirated engines were the best, and turbochargers and nitro was just cheater power. But I'd never driven one. So when I saw the silver Malibu turbo, I took it for a ride, and I was like, oh my God, this thing is quick, which was part 2 of the Mercedes. I wanted the Class M luxury, and I wanted the speed. And this car, the second Malibu, gave me all of that. It came with power everything. It had a sunroof, had XM radio, backup camera, proximity sensor, lane keep assist, forward collision alert. I'm like, these are all the features of some Mercedes. So I bought that car and I put on 285,000 miles on this car, and it was just vainglorious. I just loved it. I recently gave that car to my daughter. I sold it to her in December of 2024 because I bought a 2025 Chevy Blazer EV, which is what I'm in now. And I love this thing. I love this thing to death. But when the movie The Secret came out, it came out in the year 2006. I didn't know anything about it. We were at a grocery store, me and my kids, and we were shopping. And I'm still having money problems. Like, you know, I'm seeing all these people around me making a lot of money, living in beautiful homes and neighborhoods. And I'm like, man, what is the secret to making money? So my oldest son was in college, and I didn't have a laptop because I couldn't afford it. I was trying to save money for a house at this point. And my oldest son was the first son to go to college. And I'm thinking to myself, there's got to be something I'm missing. So my son was like, hey, Dad, if you want to do some research on the things that you're talking about, you can go to the college, UW-Milwaukee, and use my passcode and get on the internet. And I'm like, cool, because I don't have the internet at the house. So I went there, and that's when he introduced me to YouTube. I said, oh, this YouTube stuff, it seems pretty cool. So I start looking, and I said, okay, enough, looking on cats meowing and stuff like that. I said, it's time to do some work. And I was just like, how to make money when you're broke, and how to make money when you don't go to college. I was just asking questions. Then I just typed in, what is the secret to life? That's what I typed in. What is the secret to life? And a 20-minute video popped up about the secret. And I think the person on there was, I don't remember his name. Oh, Joe Vitale. Joe Vitale was on the screensaver of the thumbnail of that. And I'm like, okay. And I turned it on and I watched just that 20 minutes. And that 20 minutes hooked me. In that 20 minutes, I was like, oh my God. But the video is 75 minutes long. And I was like, what? And it said, if you want to buy this video, go to this site and pay $20. And I bought the video. And when it came, I watched the whole thing. And it's like everything in my life that I was complaining about, everything in the life I was worried about, everything that was related to money and my emotions, that video woke me up to explain to some degree why these things are happening to me. And I was like, wow, this is just amazing. And right about that time, 2008, the market crashed, the bubble burst, and the real estate market crashed, and everybody was getting laid off, including me. So my friend, who was my boss, came to me and said, hey, I gotta let you go. I can't afford it, and I'll probably have to shut the shop down. Okay, well, no problem. I went and got on unemployment, and for 2 years, and that's when Obama was in office, and he extended the unemployment benefits. And believe it or not, on unemployment, I was making enough money to pay the rent, the light, the gas, my cell phone, my car payment. Did I have insurance? No, I didn't have insurance. And I was thinking to myself, wow. And I think it was like $380 a week. And I stayed on that for 2 years. I wouldn't apply for jobs. When money got tight or needed more money, I would do a side job, like, build a speaker box for somebody for $100 or something like that, or throw in a remote start and an alarm for $200. Just made money like that, and that was sustainable for 2 years with the guaranteed money from the unemployment. So all I had was time, so that I would take the kids to school. I'm unemployed. I go down, do my unemployment. I fill out a couple of job applications. Well, I didn't have much money, so I couldn't drive anywhere. Excuse me. I couldn't drive anywhere, so I was catching a bus. I had a car. It was working fine. I just didn't have the money. The bus pass was going to get me around town a lot more than, I think it's $14 or $15 at that time for a bus pass. $15 in a gas tank in the car, it's like 2 or 3 days of driving and you're done. So I was like, but I still going into job interviews and stuff. I'm catching the bus. No big deal. But all I did is have nothing but time, and I took that time and I just watched that secret. And every time I watched it, I saw something different. You know, if I was worried about like a relationship, there was something about relationship. If I was worried about money, there was something about money. If I was worried about confidence, there was something about confidence. And I was just like, oh my God, this movie is like a game buster. I mean, this is like Academy Award winning motivational movie. And then it was on Oprah. Then it was like, you know, everybody was talking about The Secret and Law of Attraction, and it just opened up Pandora's box for a lot of people, including me. So I missed out on a lot of stuff because I watched it for 1 solid year. Every day, I get up in the morning, turn The Secret on, cook breakfast for the kids, take them to school, because school for us at that time was right across the street. So we didn't have to go far. And everybody went to the same school. So school wasn't far at all. Then I come home, The Secret go off, I'm like, okay, the part that I missed while I was taking the kids to the school, watch the video again. Watch the video again, stop, get up, catch the bus, go down to the unemployment office or service job center and fill out applications, and, you know, are you looking? Yeah, I'm looking, blah, blah, blah. And then I would come back, and that'd be about lunchtime, and I watch The Secret again. Then I would stop, I would sit back and write down my thoughts and my feelings on a piece of paper, and I would eat something and lay down, and most of the time I would fall asleep. Then I would get up, and it'd be like an hour or so before picking the kids up from school. I would watch The Secret again, and then while the movie's playing, I would start getting dinner ready, so when I picked the kids up, they would have something hot and ready to eat when they came home. And I did it for a year, so I had to watch that movie on an average 5 times a day for 365 days out of the year. Not consistently, but I watched a lot of that movie. And I got to a point that I would start showing friends and family, anybody that came over, hey, we got to watch The Secret. I ordered pizzas. You know, it was I threw a party. I threw a secret party. Let's sit down and watch the movie The Secret. Like I threw that party like you would throw a Super Bowl party. I had chips, and dip, and this and that, and I had about 12 people over, adults, and friends and family, and nephews and nieces. And I turned that video on and I watched it, and they were all looking at me like, okay, why are we watching this? I'm like, just watch it. And then I talked about it, and they were like, wow, you're absolutely right. This sounds great. And I could tell they were being phony. I can tell they were just, you know, hop in their cars and take off and talk behind my back. But I didn't care. I found something that motivated me. I found something that woke me up inside. And I started to work on myself through using the law of attraction. But I didn't know about the want part of the law of attraction. You can't come from a place of want. Then and then in one part of the video it says, imagine you looking at your hands and you're wrapping your hands around your new sports car, driving, you know, and the guy is sitting in this recliner pretending that he's driving his sports car. He says, you know, it feels silly, but do it. And then somebody else said, if you know, go out and drive that car you want to drive. Go out and sit in that restaurant that you can't afford, but imagine yourself eating in that really fancy restaurant. Go to the parade of homes and walk through the most beautiful homes you've ever seen in your life, and sit there and feel what it's like to be the owner of that property. So I was like, okay, I was doing all of that, and I was getting some results, but nothing major, because I was still coming from the one. I did not know that portion of it, that as long as you come from lack and desire of having something you don't have, you'll never get it. You will never ever get it just wanting it. All right, so I'm gonna wrap this up with this. Here's the thing that you have to do. Ask for it, the universe, God, whatever. They said make a command. Tell the universe what you want. Tell the universe what you're asking. Well, this is what I'm asking. And you ask for it as if not. Like, please, sir, can I have more? No. Hey, I'm winning that lottery jackpot on the Powerball. That's what's going to happen. And I know that sounds arrogant and cocky and everything else, but you have to come from a place of not being desperate for it. Then once you're done making that very first prayer, do that prayer one time. Don't do the same prayer over and over again, because it's almost like it's like the kids in the car. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? What are you going to say to them? Shut up! We're not there. Shut up. Excuse me. That's how the universe kind of works. Not 100%. But the more you keep asking, it's like hitting the reset button. It's coming. It's coming. Is it there yet? And it's got to come back and answer your question. No, but it's coming. And then it starts coming, starts going through the process of coming to you. And then you say, hey, is it there yet? And it's got to come back. No, not yet. It's coming. Then it starts over. So you can't keep asking for the same thing. Ask one time. The second part, show gratitude for everything that you already have. For the house, the shoes, your cars, your socks, anything that you take for granted, show gratitude. Like, man, this cell phone has made me $800 in 2024 on my YouTube channel. Awesome. Be grateful for that thing. Wow. It's a S21 Ultra 5G. So, we're up to the S25 now. So, but this thing still does what it needs to do for me. It records a video. I can upload it to my laptop. I'm using DaVinci Resolve to edit the video, throw in some music and some B-roll and sound effects and everything. It's amazing. 5 years ago, I wasn't doing any of this. But the level of gratitude that I started giving thanks to, more stuff started to happen. And it's just great. So pray for it once, show gratitude, visualize what it feels like to already have it. And I don't mean I just got this today. No, you've already have it for 3 months. 3 months ago, I won the Powerball lottery jackpot. How does that feel 3 months later? Is it still the big, oh my God, I can't believe I lived the lottery? Or have you moved on and you know what, I'm moving forward now. I'm going to go buy a car. I'm going to have a house built. I'm going to start a business. I'm going to help out the church and help out some homeless people. Where are you right now 3 months after winning the Powerball lottery jackpot? Okay? So that's how after you say your prayer, show gratitude, and visualize yourself already having it, then you need to go to another step. Excuse me. Once you show gratitude, make the statement, pray. All right, you prayed once. The second thing you do, show gratitude. The third thing you do, you visualize it as you've already had it. Fourth, you keep praying, but you don't pray for that first prayer. You pray and thanking God, thanking the universe for delivering it to you. You know it's coming. And I want to thank you in advance, Lord, for granting my request. So that's number 4. Now, the other thing is you have to let go. Number 5. Letting go is actually part of the want. When you don't think about it every day, I'm winning the Powerball lottery jackpot. I'm winning the Powerball jackpot. I'm winning it. No, you have to say, I've won it. I've won the Powerball lottery jackpot. You have to, that's your prayer. To show gratitude. Thank you, Lord Jesus, for everything that you've done in my life. Thank you, universe, for everything that you protected me from. Thank you for everything I've gone through, good and bad, and the lessons I've learned from it. You have to do that. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Show gratitude, show gratitude, show gratitude. All the time. All the time. Now, the letting go is you're not worried about it. It should be every time that you think about it already being in your possession, that's letting go of the I want it, that you let go of that. You gotta let go of that. Now they say that you should pray every day and show thanks and gratitude every day. I highly believe that, 100%. You have to do that. Here's another story. Mercedes-Benz made a car called the SLR, and it was like all the hype. It was an all carbon fiber body, V8 engine. It's just a badass car. It's been on the biggest TV show at the time was called Top Gear, and they did a couple episodes with the car, and I loved it. I worked at a shop called Project 2 Customs, where we were customizing cars, pimp my ride, overhauling, unique whips. We were a shop that was doing customization for basketball players, hockey players, football players, baseball players, and the elite rich of society. And one of the customers that Andy had was named Donald Baumgartner, and he was a billionaire. Never met I met the man one time, and he didn't. In my head, I thought a billionaire would be, three-piece suit on or two-piece suit on, very elegant, very tall, very lean, and silver hair and full head. I just had my vision of what a billionaire looked like, and this guy looked like my mailman, and he's a billionaire. But anyway, he wanted us to do customize. He bought an SLR, and he saw some of the work that we were doing. He said he wanted an upgraded sound system because he goes, for $500,000, the sound system sucks. So we bought the top of the line Alpine and Alpine head unit, speakers, amplifiers, and things of that nature. We built a custom box out of carbon fiber and mounted the subwoofer in the car and reupholstered the whole thing. But I love that car. I got to drive that car, and I was focused so much on owning that car that I actually let go of wanting it, because it was in the shop. We had it for a good, because it was a custom job. We wanted to take our time, make sure we didn't break anything. We had it for a good 2 or 3 weeks, and then then the winter came. It was right around the cuffs of winter. Then winter came, and he says, "Is it all right if I just store the car in your shop until summer?" Sure, no problem. No one's going to drive it, but it's still nice to be able to go to work and see a $500,000 car that that you worked on. So I got so wrapped into the thought of owning that car that every time I walk to my silver Malibu, I try to open it like the doors of the SLR, which are butterfly. And the door handle is on top. So I was leaving my apartment, went down to the heated garage to take my kids out for dinner and take them to a movie to go see a movie they wanted to see. And I'm trying to open the door like they open up the door in the SLR. I'm like, what is wrong with my SLR? This door won't open. And I looked at it because all I saw was silver. And in my head, I had the silver McLaren SLR in my garage. And I got mad, and I looked at the kid, which one of you guys moved the door handle? And I realized, and they're looking at me like, what are you talking about, Dad? And I looked down and I saw the real door handle. I was like, oh my God, I was in that mindset. And the first thing that my mindset told me, and this is something that everybody's going to tell you, they're going to say, you got to be realistic. That to me is a biggest BS. Okay, I'm not going to go on the rant. But think about the Wright brothers. When they were inventing the plane and flying the plane, everybody told them that's impossible. These guys are bicycle, not motorcycles, bicycle mechanics, and they're going to figure out how to fly human beings in the air. Yeah, right, whatever. And they did it. So there's a lot of stories in history where people told some of the greatest people, inventors of our existence, to be realistic. That's not possible. So when I start reading about those stories and hearing about those stories, I subconsciously thought I already had the Mercedes SLR. So yeah, that's that story. But that's how powerful your mind is. And that's 6 or number 7. I think we're on number 6. Is your subconscious mind. I understand something that I never understood. You ever hear something called gated communities? It's a really nice house, and it's in a gated community. And I've always thought those are just snobby people. You're not one of us. Oh my God, you're peasants and whatnot. That's what's portrayed in TV and in media and social media. That rich people are just jerks and blah blah blah, yada yada yada. And when I became of age, 17, 18, I got my first car. I was trying to go to college, and I'm the oldest of 8, so I had to pay my own way to college. I was a pizza driver, delivered Domino's pizza in a very rich part of Milwaukee called River Hills. And I delivered pizza for like 2 years, and then I met some really rich people and really, really nice, really, really nice. So yeah, I first-hand experience. There were some bad people, but in one ear and out the other with their attitude. But I realized you can't judge a book by the cover, and I understand the gated community because some of these people can't defend themselves. They're spend their entire life, and now they're old and not as limber as they were. And if you're in the gated community, you can make sure that riffraff don't come walking up on your doorstep and break in and rob your house because you're rich. So I understand that the gated community is a sense of safety for the people there who don't want to have to worry about being robbed or mugged or anything of that nature if it's a gated community. But the HOAs and all the rules and stuff, yeah, keep that. So that's that. That's that story. I hope this is still recording. I don't even know if this is recorded or not. Subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind retains everything you see, feel, do, hear, taste. Do you right now? How many times have you breathed in and out the last minute? You don't know. Your subconscious knows. So your subconscious is a powerful thing. There's so much. Your conscious mind. I'm aware of the cars around me. I'm on the highway making the video, keeping my eyes moving, paying attention to the traffic and everything. I'm aware of that. My subconscious mind is probably seeing stuff that I'm taking for granted, like the raindrops that are up on the windshield that I should probably turn my wiper on. Turn the wipers on. It's acquiring so much information. So if you surround yourself in a negative environment and you see all the type of things that you don't like, you're uncomfortable with, it goes against your morals, the more you surround yourself around that, it's getting into your subconscious mind. Who you hang around with is who you're going to become or who you are. That's a very important lesson to understand and learn. Who you hang around with and where you live is direct affecting who you are. It goes back to that gated community. Private tutors and teachers and own private doctors. Someone that's focused on you. So that's that stuff. Okay, this video has been about 40 minutes long, I'm guessing. I'm gonna stop here, edit this video, post it, chop it up, edit, make it good, then I'll post it. But my goal here is to help people like me become their best you. I want to help people that were like me become the best you. I really do. I like teaching. I like showing people. It comes down to perspective. Change your perspective, and you will change your life. That's gonna be the next video. That's huge. That is the hugest thing of all is your perspective. If you look at something based on your subconscious mind and your surroundings and your upbringing and everything, and you say that's bad or they're bad or he's doing that wrong or she's doing that wrong, That's 100% your perspective based on the environment you've been around. You cannot say that because someone's homeless, they're a loser, because they might be dealing with mental illness. They might have had a car accident that broke their brain or did some damage to their brain. You don't know what people are going through for you to look down at them and go, oh my God, you're so not, well, or not wanted around in life. Ugh. So yeah, don't. I got you, buddy. Don't be a jerk. Don't be an asshole. Don't be a bad human being. All right, guys. There's more coming. I'll be doing all my videos in my car because, like I said earlier in this video, I love to drive. But I won't drive this long. I'll probably be sitting somewhere like in a park or at the lakefront, in the marina or something, because I don't want to be putting on a lot of miles on my brand new car making videos. It would be nice if I made enough money from these videos that I could pay this car off, and then I would trade it in and just keep buying new cars. That'd be great. Also, I have another channel. It's called Imagine That Luxury Motors, where I talk about the automobile and my love for cars. And the reason why I call it Imagine That, because you can't know what you're capable of unless you have an imagination. You cannot stay with this makes sense, this is realistic, and this is all that I know. Then don't come back to this channel. You're wasting your time, and I don't want to waste your time. I want to help you experience a better life for yourself on whatever level that is for you. All right, guys. All right. See you later. Bye.